The teams are currently preparing for their the second game. Seems to be a little bit of a problem. One of the teams, the Yellowbacks, are having connection issues right now. Once that's resolved, I'm sure we'll get underway.
I think every match they came with a little pincer and or press your button with a little like.
Yes. Waiting for them to set up.
Like for Queensland, and then can you put split screen Queensland for Queensland and Anthony?
No, this is what's showing you.
Okay.
But I can go straight to Queensland.
So when's Queensland streaming? Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, no, anytime talking microphone, so you can come in their game.
Thursday night.
Oh, this is there. Okay. We're now just streaming. We're cutting over to the Queensland games at the moment, which are being streamed live from Grace Lutheran College in Queensland. They've finished their auto period. They're in their teleop period. And they're finished.
Here at New South Wales, qualification match 2 seems to be starting soon with Barker Greenbacks 11145 and Barker Yellowbacks 11258 on the Red Alliance versus Gong Invaders 14349 and Dangerous Minds 16551, both on the Blue Alliance. Dangerous Minds seems to have a nice X drive with a lot of flashing lights, especially compared to the other robots.
So we're back live to Sydney. Good to see the teams are almost ready to go. The field will be randomised in a second. Randomisation is determines how many of the rings are positioned at what point on the field, and it determines what position the robot will need to deliver those wobble goals during the autonomous period. And we've randomised to position B, which is the middle of the squares. So you should see any of the robots that are capable of delivering the wobble goals actually trying to deliver them into that middle square. We're ready to start. We'll start the game in 3, 2, 1, start.
The only robot appeared to move is Gong Invaders. Oh, and here Greenbacks goes. This is quite unique for an autonomous period. Often there's more robots on the move. Gong Invaders scores a high goal during the autonomous period and appears to be dropping off the wobble goal. And that looks to be a success. Greenbacks is going with an interesting strategy, scoring for the other team.
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
And the driver control period starts with already a large gap in the scores, 77 to 44. A lot of movements happening. Greenbacks is finally shooting in the high goal. Unfortunately, a ring bounces out. While this is happening, Dangerous Minds is trying to shoot in their respective high goal, and Greenbacks is successfully scoring more rings into their high goal. This is resulting in the gap between the scores closening. And Yellowbacks is dropping several rings into the low red goal. Greenback seems to have improved a lot from the autonomous period, scoring a lot more rings into the high goal. Will the Blue Alliance be able to keep up with the rapid scoring of the Red Alliance? We already have the Blue Alliance surpassing 100 points before even 50 seconds. and red is close behind, only 7 points.
Red Alliance is definitely catching up here, aren't they? It's currently 98 to 105, 110 to 105. Red Alliance has taken the lead. 40 seconds to go.
The Red Alliance scores more for the blue team. It looks like it's going to be a close game, only 1 point away from each other. Oh, and it's 109 to 116.
End game's in process, so the teams can now deliver the wobble goals through to the end zone and place them outside the field.
It's really all going to come down to this, as the scores are so close.
It is going to be a very, very tight game. Eight seconds to go and 5 points in it.
The Red Alliance successfully scores a power shot. Each power shot is worth 15 points during the end game, and it seems to have put the red into the lead.
That was a close game, wasn't it? It's good to see the teams having such a close game in the second game of the tournament. Looking forward to some great things later on.
It's important to note that the scores being displayed right now are not actually the final scores, so it is possible that with such a close game, the winner is different from red.
Especially when the penalties are placed on there. They often don't appear straight away, and the judges will be putting them into their iPads right now, trying to figure out how many of the penalties will count.
Definitely. The suspense is still high.
It was interesting seeing the strategy there. The Red Alliance goal, they were struggling to get the rings onto the field, but it was good to see both teams delivering in the high goal. The Yellowbacks were scoring on their tractor into the middle goal, were they? Is that what they were trying to do? Low goal. Here come the scores. And it is a Red Alliance win, 137 to 129.
Very close game indeed.
In the end, there were no penalties scored in there. Very interesting to see. But the driver control period was 78 points to the Red Alliance, which well and truly won them the game. Autonomous at 77 for the blue, had them in a good lead to start with, but they just couldn't match the Red Alliance during the driver control period. So we'll just clear the field now as the next teams get ready to come on. There'll be 4 more teams coming in a minute. Give or take, about that. Yeah, no, they're roving mic. Okay.
Do you want me to do a game? You guys?
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I'm happy to cut over. I literally will leave in the middle of this game otherwise, so you definitely can take it.
Well, let me have a go. See how we go. So with the, we're not on.
We're on. We're going to introduce our new game announcer. I have to leave in a few minutes, so we've got Brett. Brett's from our FRC tournament last week. You'll have seen him commentating, but he's very kindly agreed to come in and commentate the New South Wales side of the State of Origin for us. So welcome, Brett. Welcome, and good to see you come in and help us out.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, everybody out there on YouTube watching us. I'll sit down and grab a seat. And now I'm here with Morgan from the Redbacks. Morgan, are you primarily involved in FRC or FTC?
Well, I was a team member for the Bluebacks. However, they have a large enough drive team that I was able to commentate today. Recently, I'd say more part of the FRC team.
So we've got quite a few Barker teams here today. We've seen the game. Obviously, there's a few components to the game. I guess for those people who maybe haven't seen much of the game, I think there was an FTC tournament last year at Pimble.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's the same game as last year, and essentially, a few objectives. Obviously, shooting those rings into the goals is one of the objectives.
Another key objective is based around the wobble goals. So during the autonomous period, the robots try and deliver the wobble goal to the corresponding box, depending on how many rings are randomly assigned.
And how do the robots know where they need to, what target zone they need to put that wobble goal in?
So they're, due to the rings determining the wobble goal position, the robots use a variety of sensors, depending on what they've chosen to determine how many rings there are. I know a common one is a color sensor, detecting whether, so having two color sensors, because the possible combinations are 0, 1, and 4. And so they can just see with the two color sensors whether there's 1 or 2 rings or none, one or 2 rings for the color sensors to see. I'm sure there may also be ultrasonic sensors in some cases. It's really up to the teams.
So the next. So the next teams are actually on the field. There we go. We're there. Fantastic. I've got a head made for radio, but my head's on TV at the moment. So hello to everybody out there. So the teams for this match. This is qualification match number 3 on the Red Alliance. We've got the Barker Bluebacks, also with the Barker.
The Barker Pinkbacks.
Barker Pinkbacks. Where's the red? Where's the Bluebacks? Bluebacks, and the Pinkbacks. Pinkbacks, and for the Blue Alliance, we have Cardboard. Where's Cardboard? Very hard for me to say. Cardboard. Oh, it says Bod up there. Sorry. Okay, Card Bob. Okay, Card Bob. And team 15144 is Artemis. Welcome, Artemis. So the teams are still just setting up here. All the robots need to start up against the back line, and also on their team, there's a starting strip.
There is, and any part of the robot has to be touching that strip as well as touching the wobble goal.
And during that autonomous period, is that 15 seconds autonomous period?
The autonomous period is 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. 30 seconds for FTC, and I guess primarily during that time, obviously you said moving the wobble goal, also going and parking on the launch line, and also scoring goals and power shots as well. They can score.
Yes, that's correct. So power shots are worth 15 points during autonomous and endgame. During the driver control period, the power shots I believe aren't worth anything.
And scoring in those goals during autonomous actually doubles the points. So if you can get into that top goal, which I think we saw Going Invaders trying to do last game, 12 points for each one of those rings that goes into that top goal during autonomous. So that's quite a lot of points there.
Yeah, it really adds up.
So we can see one of the results in Queensland there. Red Alliance winning 34-25. So they're up to qualification match 3 as well, and down here in New South Wales we're just getting ready.
And the randomization has come out to 1 ring, meaning that the robots are going to try and deliver the wobble goal into the middle box.
box B. That's right. Box B, the middle box, is where that wobble goal needs to go. Okay, teams, you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go.
And a lot of movement during the autonomous period.
Pinkback's shooting and just missing that upper goal, and Blueback's there as well for that Red Alliance getting ready. They're not quite aligned up, shooting at those power shots and just missing over the top there.
What a shame. And Artemis seems to have shot a couple rings outside of the field. Fortunately, I do not believe that is a penalty, and that autonomous seems to have completed.
Card Bob's moving onto that
Driver,
line, so that's scoring
pick up
extra
your
points
controller.
there for the Blue Alliance
3,
by being on that
2,
white line at the end
1.
of the autonomous period. So that's Blue ahead 20 points to 5. We've got their 1-1-4-4. That's the Bluebacks. Looks like they've got they can shoot as well, so they need to be behind that white line when they shoot. And that's Cardbods there shooting really well for the Blue Alliance, scoring into that top goal. 6 points, that top goal during the driver control period.
Yeah.
Pinkbat's just missing. It's quite a small target, that top goal. But there's Blueback scoring quite nicely there for the Red Alliance. Blue Alliance is ahead though, 38-23, a minute 20 to go.
Yeah, it appears that Carbob has had their battery fall off the robot, which is quite unfortunate. It appears to have resulted in the robot being unable to move.
So that's going to make it really tough for the Blue Alliance, and as we've seen, the Red Alliance has taken the lead. Pinkbat's picking up those rings. Blueback's in position and scoring 2 of them in. Pinkbat's scoring 1 out of 2 into that top goal. Again, the Red Alliance racking up those points, while Artemis seems like they're having an issue with their intake. They can't quite intake those rings, and as we said, card bods are just not moving at all. Pinkbat shooting again. So that sound is the end game. What that means is those power shots now are worth 15 points each. Blueback shooting and just missing. Can they get one? No, they've just gone in between. I don't think they could do that again if they try. That was nice shooting, but just missing, unfortunately.
Just like the autonomous.
There they go. Pinkbat's just hit one, scoring 15 points for the Red Alliance. Oh, another shot there by Bluebacks, getting one, and the third one.
Got all 3. That's a lot of. That adds up to a lot of points, putting Red on the 116 points.
There was an extra 45 points there by getting those 3 power shots in at the end game. So that was look, the Blue Alliance were ahead there, but unfortunately that battery came out of Carbob's, and they basically stopped still. Artemis seemed to have a problem with their intake, and Red Alliance looks like they've come to a comfortable lead. So Morgan, at the end game, is there anything the robots need to do? Obviously, try to get those wobble goals on the outside to score 15 points.
Yes.
Is there anywhere they need to park? Does it matter where they are at the end of the game?
So if the wobble goal is, so they can either put the wobble goal outside of the field, or they can put the wobble goal back on the original position, and I believe that scores 5 points.
And here we have the final score, and it's a comfortable win to the Red Alliance, 116-38. And look at that, those 45 end game points. But driver controlled 66-18. I guess that's no surprise given what happened to Card Bobs, to their robot. They certainly dropped down. It looks like we're underway. We've got the Queensland match going on at the moment. Qualification match 4. It looks like the Red Alliance. Sorry, that's the auto period. Red Alliance nicely ahead. So we'll cut over to the Queensland match. people are watching at home or on YouTube, just remember we'll be streaming the FRC South Pacific, the regional awards at 12 o'clock. So they'll be coming on at 12 o'clock. Now, it looks like we're having a replay of that match. Morgan, do you know why that match is going to be replayed?
Yeah, so the tape was slightly misplaced. Easy mistake to happen. It was on. It was a similar position, although it was on the wrong tile, and so obviously that can really ruin the autonomous period, as the number of rings do determine where to place the wobble goal, and so it can be hard for the robots to read how many rings there are when it's in an incorrect position, and so yeah, we'll be replaying the match.
Okay, so Card Bob will probably their battery fell out that match, so hopefully they've secured that in, and we'll see if Card Bob and Artemis can put up a better showing. They did well during the autonomous period, actually. They shot in and scored. I think Card Bob had a good autonomous, but after that battery came out, their robot was disabled. So we'll just wait. Queensland, I think, he's just waiting for us. They've got a match preview. So we're just randomising. Again, this dictates how many of those rings. So as you see, there are 0 rings on the field, so they'll go back to the human player station at the back there near the goals. And the goal it's box A, which is the closest one. So if a team puts a wobble goal in that during the autonomous period, they score an extra 15 points. Okay, teams, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, start. And that autonomous period, I know. So all robots going. Artemis shooting around them, but there I think that was the Bluebacks shooting and scoring on that power shot, scoring 15 points there for the Blue Alliance, for the Red Alliance. Sorry, so good shooting there, 20 points there. So we can see Card Bob moving and getting onto that white line. Pink are certainly there, and Card Bob shooting, but just not quite being aligned and just missing
Driver,
those
pick
rings.
up your
So.
controllers. 3, 2, 1.
So Carbob did unfortunately miss a few of the shots there during autonomous. However, fortunately they did drop off the wobble goal into the correct location. This meant they did score an extra 15 points, resulting in the autonomous being very close.
So what you might have noticed then, the Bluebacks for the Red Alliance shot and actually scored into that middle goal, which actually scored points for the Blue Alliance. So as you'll see in the goals, we've got on the right-hand goal there on the screen, we've got red, blue, red. So teams could accidentally shoot in the wrong one. And Card Bob there for the Blue Alliance shooting and scoring two rings into that upper goal for the Blue Alliance.
Yeah, and as you were saying about the middle goal, it does add some risk to shooting in the high goal, especially with such a small range to shoot in.
So it looks like Artemis are having a problem with that intake, or they can't quite get those rings out again. That's going to make it difficult for the Blue Alliance. But look at that. Card Bob shooting 3 out of 3 into the upper goal, and we just saw Pinkbacks and Bluebacks both scoring as well for the Red Alliance. 56-50, close match with just under 50 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Artemis still having an issue with that intake. It can't quite get them in. So Red Alliance has taken a nice lead here, 68-56. And look at that. That was Pinkbacks scoring. Bluebacks scoring a couple of points. So each one of those that goes into the upper goal during the normal match is worth 6 points. So 12 points there. Red Alliance ahead, 86-56. Card Bob shooting and accidentally knocking down one of those red power shots. You knock down the wrong one and the opposition scores. And the Red Alliance has taken a nice lead with 10 seconds to go. Bluebacks shooting. Can they hit? They do. That was Pinkbacks that shot and scored. Nice shooting for the Pinkbacks. That's the end of the match. Red Alliance does have a nice lead. I didn't see many fouls. A couple of rings shot off the field. But so that was a repeat of the last match. Bluebacks and Pinkbacks were slow to start. Maybe not the not the greatest autonomous, but their shooting and picking up of those rings was really efficient.
Yeah, they had a very efficient cycle of just picking up 3 rings, and I saw Bluebacks often getting just 18 points with the 3 rings, or at least getting 12. Something interesting to note is near the end of the game, Bluebacks accidentally got a ring on top of their bot, and there's actually a restriction limiting the robots to only having 3 rings contained within them. Otherwise, there's a penalty. What this meant is that Bluebacks could actually only pick up 2 rings at a time to avoid getting that penalty.
So we've got our match in Queensland there for those people watching. We've got the Blue Alliance ahead here. You can see one of the Red Alliance robots there. Looks like it's got an arm to pick up those rings and actually place it in the lower goal. And there was one of the blue robots actually shooting at the power shot. Now, during the normal course of the match, there's no points for shooting those power shots, only during autonomous and during that end game, which is the last 30 seconds. Blue Alliance is ahead here, though. And that red robot, I can't see the number there, but that seems to be picking up those rings and placing them in. Someone's picking up the wobble goal here. So at the end match, if you can, at the end game, last 30 seconds, if you can pick up that wobble goal and move it, there's certainly points to be scored. Someone else shooting there, trying to hit those power shots now during the end game. We've got this robot here, looks like 14,380. Look at that. They put that wobble goal out of the field, and I think that is an extra, is that an extra
20 points.
An extra 20 points there for that Red Alliance. It looks like they'd had some penalties at the start of the match, the Red Alliance. Blue Alliance is well ahead in that match. And back in New South Wales, we've got the final score for that match 3. Red Alliance with a comfortable win, 131 to 56. And look, again, autonomous period though, Red Alliance did score 35 to 20, but again we saw 30 end game points for the Red Alliance and no end game points for the Blue Alliance, which is I guess in line with the previous match that we saw. So I think Artemis will need to have a look at that intake. That's a couple of games now. They've started off well, but it looks like some of those rings just get caught in their robot.
Yeah, that's right. Just can't quite push the rings far enough to hit the spinner to actually shoot the rings out.
Their intake mechanism is quite interesting. I think what we'll try and do later in the day, we'll try and get maybe an interview with one, just to talk about the robot design, why teams have designed their robots in different ways, because the teams are all sort of independent of each other, how they design. I think even the Barker robots, we've got, how many Barker robots have we got here today? I think we've got 7 or 8. They're all built and designed independently of each other, so the teams sort of do that themselves, and that's why there's such different and various designs and scoring mechanisms. So Queensland are a bit ahead. They're up to qualification match number 6. We're going for qualification match number 4 here in New South Wales. I can see Cassie coming out there with the Yellowbacks. We've got the Yellowbacks. So we've got 3 Barker teams here. So on the Red Alliance, we've got the Purple Backs and the Grey Backs. So the good thing is, for anyone watching, you can actually see the colour, as long as you're not colour blind. But it's easy to see the Barker robots because they've got some colour. And I've noticed some names on the robots. Do you know anything about the names? It looks like the Yellowback has got the name Lewis written on it. Is that the name of the robot?
Yes. So you may also notice that Greybacks has Orion on it. There's a sort of this year a lot of the Barker robots decided to name their robots off of some respective chemical or even planet, in the case of Orangebacks. An interesting thing to note is with the Red Alliance, Grey and Purplebacks, I'm aware, have spent some time working on having an autonomous work together with each other, and both teams scored very well last year.
So it'll be interesting to see how they go. So look, Greybacks are ranked number 1. So the Red Alliance here, we've got Purple and the Greybacks from Barker, whereas on the Blue Alliance, we've got Dangerous Minds. Where's the Dangerous Minds team? I think Dangerous Minds, where are Dangerous Minds from? Are they from Wollongong? Oh, they're
Yes.
from Victoria.
Oh.
Fantastic. We've got a Victorian team up here. Welcome to Dangerous Minds. Hi, Dangerous Minds. From Victoria? Fantastic. Great that you've come up here for the match. Thank you very much. And on their team, we've got the Yellowbacks. So that's Lewis. I don't know any. I do have a science degree, actually, but I don't know any. Is there a chemical Lewis? Maybe there's a person called Lewis. There's a person famous called Lewis who
Yeah, I guess that one, Yellowbacks is a bit more unique in that.
maybe we can see Lewis later on. So yeah, so that. So that voice you can just see there on the right-hand side of your screen. That's the very famous Sean Zammit there from Barker, just telling the teams that the Red Alliance needed a human player. So what's the job of the human player there, Morgan, during the match?
So the human player, whenever there's any rings shot, the human player can pick them up and deploy them into, you may see that little funnel there, and that will dispense them back onto the field to keep the amount of rings in the field roughly constant. They also have the second job of resetting the power shots during the autonomous and endgame periods.
So we're just randomising here, and it's number 5, which comes to target zone B and 1 ring on the field. So let's see if any of these robots can actually place that wobble goal in position B. If they do that, that is 15 extra points. Okay, teams, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go. Look at that, the grey bots there shooting, just missing, but that is there. That's Dangerous Minds shooting and scoring there for the Blue Alliance, and also getting parked onto that line. Grey bots there delivering it not quite into the right zone, shooting and missing. They're picking up. That's interesting. They are picking up the other wobble goal, but looks like it hasn't quite read the right target zone, and they've delivered them into zone C. So
Driver,
no
pick up your
points
controller.
there for the Red Alliance. But it
3,
looks like they are
2,
parked though.
1.
So it looks like they're on the line, and that's why they got those 5 points. So Blue ahead, 29-5 after the autonomous period.
Yeah, very interesting autonomous. I haven't seen greyback. It's quite rare for greybacks to miss so many things like that, but I guess just one incorrect reading can cause so many negative repercussions.
So Yellowbacks there, Lewis, looks like their delivery mechanism is to score into that lower goal. So very accurate, slow, but scoring 2 points for each one of those rings that goes in during the driver-operated period. But the good thing about it, when they get in position, they're guaranteed of scoring. And you just saw Greyback score there, 2 into that upper goal, but 1 into that middle goal, which scores points for the other team. Does that look like defense there? I don't know if Purple were trying to block Yellow. 3 out of 3 there for Greybacks into that upper goal. So that was 18 points there. But Purple scoring into that Blue Alliance. So look, Blue's ahead at the moment, 51-41 with just 55 seconds to go.
Both grey and purple backs on the Red Alliance seem to be scoring quite a bit for the Blue Alliance.
So Dangerous Minds have got a good shooter. It looks like, can they get in position? Oh, that's interesting. So the Dangerous Minds there shooting into the, I'll call it the red goal, but shooting into the middle.
That's correct. And so as you can see with Yellowbacks, their goal is to shoot in the low goal. Purple and Greybacks often try and shoot in the high goal, although there are many robots which main purpose is to shoot in the middle goal of the other person's side.
So Dangerous Minds not quite getting that wobble go over, but look at that, Greybacks delivering 2 red goals over outside the field in the end game, each of those scoring points. Dangerous Minds couldn't quite get that wobble goal over. Nobody shot any of those power shots down. The Red Alliance is just ahead after that match. We'll need to wait for the final scores. That was so that was quite a good match. Greybots certainly look like an excellent robot on the field. Purple had a few issues there. Dangerous Minds also, I like their drive, their wheels, the way their wheels are placed. So that was quite a good. They seem to be able to do everything, not quite getting that wobble goal over the end of the field. And Yellowback's delivery mechanism, I did like that. It's just sort of like a conveyor belt, really.
Yeah,
Just,
quite satisfying just seeing all the rings pop into the low goal. Quite an entertaining match, a very volatile match at that, with the Blue Alliance winning for a long period of the time. However, it seems like that Red has just come through.
So as we flip over to Queensland there, we can see the Red Alliance is ahead, 12 minus 20. That, I assume, due to penalties during the autonomous period, maybe shooting out. I think you can shoot outside the field.
Yeah, shooting outside the field, if it's on accident, shouldn't actually score a penalty. However, it does appear to often be.
So we might try and find out why some of those penalties are being given there in Queensland. There's that same robot with that sort of pick-up arm mechanism. They can pick it up and place it. I wonder if they can actually get it into that top goal. It looks like it's big enough, though. That arm certainly looks long enough from here.
Yeah, it does.
They're putting them into that lower goal. 2 points for each. 2 points for each one of those during the driver control period. Red has a comfortable lead. We can see 11-3-2-3. They've certainly got the ability to pick up that wobble goal and move it. We'll see if we get down to the end game whether they can actually move it outside the field. Looks like they're trying to pick it up, can't quite get it up. We're down to the final 30 seconds. Red Alliance has a nice lead over the Blue Alliance. They can't quite get it. So someone's shooting at the power shots. Looks like we have one of the red power shots down, certainly on the Red Alliance. I don't think any of the blue power shots are down on the Blue Alliance. So there was a foul there. We just saw the referee waving his flag and giving a foul. And Blue Alliance looked like they shot and just missed the power shot as we cut back to the New South Wales match. And this is the result from the last match. That was a close match. 77 to the Red Alliance, 67 to the Blue Alliance. There were 10 penalty points there against the Red Alliance. I'm not exactly sure what that was for. But again, look at that autonomous, that Blue Alliance. We saw, I think that was Dangerous Minds, have a really good autonomous period, 44. But they couldn't quite get through. So what we might do, we might throw up the rankings in. We've got the rankings in New South Wales. We've only had 4 matches, but it looked like Greybacks have had 2 good wins in both their matches at the moment. So as we get ready for the next match, the Queensland match there is over. So that was a win to the Red Alliance. I don't know if anyone in Queensland is watching, but hello to the. So we're just cutting away to an interview at the moment.
It's not. Sorry. So anyway, here we have the Barker Greybacks, team 11148. So firstly, just got to ask, how was your match?
Well, we had a few issues with our autonomous running. I think that was mainly battery voltage, but overall pretty good.
Overall pretty good? Well, that's good. Just like the sound of that. So how's your robot going in the comp overall? You get what I'm saying? Let's ask Roy.
Okay. Well, we just started, but I think we're still ranked 1. So yeah, pretty good.
All right. So I think this is good for everyone who's watching on TV. What have you done to work on your robot since the last competition?
Well, I think it's just better that we be honest. We haven't done a lot. After our last comp in preparation for this one, we have had to go for our autonomous again and just check everything, make sure everything's working again. But apart from that, not too much.
So you like to take it chill? You like to take things slow? Is that what I like to hear? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that? All right. Just a final question to wrap it all up. What's your favorite breed of dog?
Maybe a boxer? I'm not sure.
Don't know what that is, but let's see, Roy. Shiva it is. Respect. Like you said, that was the Barker Greybacks. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good one.
The camera sort of died, but I turned it back on, so it should be fine.
So you need to be careful, like just press.
I thought I
Always
did,
be
but
daring. No, yes, it's just because it's like it's a timer.
yeah. Oh, okay.
So if you press too early, you kind of
Yeah.
like. That was good. Okay. Remember, like here.
Like here,
Yeah, otherwise don't show up. And then try to get more into it because it looks pretty fun.
Okay, yeah.
And as soon as you appear, you start.
Yeah.
So do one interview as like that's what
For the next match, just the teams, the Red Alliance, we've got Hedge Hubs. For where there, we'll just find out. So we've randomised to position A. This is match number 5, is it?
I've given them. Okay, that's fine.
Match number 5, I'll just tell you the teams. On the Red Alliance, we have Hedge Hubs and Gong Invaders. Hedge Hubs and Gong Invaders, the Red Alliance. And on the Blue Alliance, we have the Bluebacks, where are the Bluebacks? And we have Card Bob as well, back from Pinball. So 2 pinball teams against each other. Okay, teams, are you ready? Okay, in 3, 2, 1. And we're off on autonomous. We've got 2 of the robots moving, Gong Invaders. So Gong Invaders had a really good autonomous, and it looks like Card Bob have actually delivered the wobble goal to the correct spot, and 3 out of 3 into the upper goal. That's maximum points for a robot, right? 12 points for each of those. And look at that, Gong Invaders for the Red Alliance also delivering that goal to the correct spot. And Bluebacks moving. It doesn't look like they're on that line to score those extra points.
Driver,
That's a big
pick up your
score. Look at that
controls.
autonomous score.
3,
56-44.
2,
That's the biggest we've
1.
seen today.
Definitely, yeah. Both teams doing very well in autonomous. It's interesting how we can see the teams must have planned prior, and Blue scores an extra 12 points there, and as they plan to have one of the robots for each team do the autonomous, while the other one sits there to not get in the way.
So we've got some good shooters here. So that Card Bob there for the Red Alliance, is that 12? Oh, that's Hedge Hubs. That's the other pinball robot. Hedge Hubs shooting, but look at that. Bluebacks and Card Bob for the Blue Alliance, both good shooters. Dangerous Minds there also. Oh, sorry, Gong Invaders. That's Gong Invaders. And shooting. So some good high scoring here in this match. Look at the Blue Alliance. That Blue Alliance of Card Bob and Bluebacks, 116 already. But Gong Invaders, nice shooting there.
And something important to note is that the Bluebacks and the Card Bobs actually have already played together in the last year New South Wales finals. And so I wonder if that's going to help the Blue Alliance at all with the familiarity.
So they were Alliance teammates, were they, in the
were,
finals?
yes, last year.
Yeah, so that's why they're quite well coordinated. You see this Blue Alliance, they're sort of staying out of each other's way. Bluebacks have got quite a fast and powerful shooter, whereas if you see Card Bobs, they come right in front and shoot, but the Bluebacks can shoot from anywhere. So we're down to the final 30 seconds, and look at this. A shot there, Bluebacks shooting one of those power shots down, missing on the other one. Red Alliance have got one of them down as well. It looks like Card Bobs are trying to deliver that wobble goal over. They can't quite lift it up. It looks like it's sort of caught in that mechanism.
And Gong Invaders have actually just delivered 2 wobble goals, which is very impressive. That's a total of 40 points.
Fantastic.
It's a very, very high scoring game overall.
Look at this match, 175, 134. We'll need to wait for the final scores, but that's what we get when we get 4 robots who can all shoot well, and as we said, those high autonomous periods. So the score at the moment is coming up at 135, 134. We're going to need to see what's going to happen. This is a fantastic match. I think that's the most even match, and so probably the best match we've seen so far.
Definitely. It seems like the highest scoring match overall. the referees seem to be changing the scores quite a lot, so we really have no way to determine who's going to be the winner here. We'll have to find out when the final scores are released.
So those wobble goals at I think you said the Gong Invaders scored, those 2 wobble goals at the end game, 20 points each, 40 points. Well, I mean, that could be the difference.
Definitely. Yeah, 40 points is a significant amount. I believe it's almost as much as Gong Invaders scored during the Red Alliance scored during the whole autonomous period.
So as the referees are still putting their scores in. So that was good. I think the first time I've seen Hedge Hubs play, they had a good shooter. They were shooting into the upper goal. As we cut away to Queensland, so we're in the autonomous period. Hello to sunny Queensland. The Red Alliance, they're shooting, look at that, into that upper goal. 12 points for each of those. And the randomisation, I think, was position 1, or was it position 2? They're trying to deliver that wobble goal. It doesn't look like it's in, oh no, I'm not sure if that's counted as in a position, but 2 red robots, you see the P for parked. That means they're parked on that white line at the end of autonomous, and that's an extra 5 points. And look at that, red taking a very handy lead during that match, 34-0. So down the bottom, for everyone watching, you've got some game stats. So you can see, obviously, the power shots are those, there's the bars, the three sort of blue and 3 red lines. That mimics the power shots. We've also got the wobble goals there, so you can see if they highlight, that means that the wobble goals have been scored with. And then you can also see how many rings are stacked. So you're allowed to actually stack the rings on top of the wobble goals. Every time you do that, they score, I think it's an extra 5 points for every ring that is supported by a wobble goal. Now, we haven't seen that. So I think the reason is because when teams score in the goals, they actually get those power rings back, so they can score. Whereas if you put them on the wobble goal, they can't be used again. So the Queensland match, Red Alliance has got a nice lead here, down to the final 60 seconds. That's that robot again. Every time, not sure if there's multiple robots with a similar design, or I keep on seeing the same robot up there in Queensland. But that's that robot that can pick up and place them into that lower goal. We've got, it looks like the 2, that's interesting, certainly a Red Alliance robot, 18228. No, it's moving again. It was stuck there for a while. And it looks like one of the Blue Alliance robots actually has control of the red wobble goal. I'm not sure you're allowed to.
That can be a large penalty.
That'll be a large penalty there probably for the Blue Alliance. For the Red Alliance, one of those wobble goals being placed outside the field there. And you'll see that on the graphic down the bottom on the Red Alliance on the right, that it says drop zone. So that's indicating that one of those was put down. None of those power shots have been knocked down. And we're going to cut away to the score for that New South Wales match, and it's a win to the Red Alliance. Red Alliance 150 to 140. That's 40 penalty points. Have we got a referee here? So the white line on the field. So the rule is if anyone's shooting into the upper or the middle goal, they have to be behind the white line. And they shot 4, and it doesn't matter if those 4 go in or not. So it's only a foul if they go in. So it looks like then what happened, that Red Alliance shot, they were over. They gave away those penalty points. Sorry, the Blue Alliance did, and hence giving Red Alliance the win.
Don't press it now, turn it off.
Okay, so we'll cut away to an interview here in New South Wales.
All right, so here we are with team 12554, and I just got to ask, how do you pronounce your team name? Is it Hedgehogs, Hedgehobs, or Hedgehubs?
It's Hedgehubs.
Hedgehobs? Like hedge and a hubs?
Well, kind of.
It rolls off the tongue, right? Yeah. I got what you're saying. I like that. All right, so first they got to ask, right? How was your match?
How was our match? It was pretty good. We won.
You won? Oh,
yeah,
my word.
shooting pretty consistently. Currently, we're fixing up the shooter because overshooting a little bit. Should be back on the roll.
So it's going well at the comp for you?
Super well.
So you enjoying it?
Oh, yeah, completely.
It's all about that fun, right? So ultimately, what have you worked on since your last competition?
Well, we changed our chassis because it wasn't.
What's a chassis?
A chassis is like. How do we explain what a chassis is? It's the wheels. It's the wheels. It's what drives the robot, you know? Yeah.
So you changed the chassis?
Yeah, because we needed a more reliable chassis, so we changed to mechanism.
Mechanism?
Yeah, because we used to have holonomic, and that was a bit disastrous, so we moved to mechanism.
Look at me adding to my vocabulary, right? Okay, so final question.
Yes.
Shawn Mendes or Justin Bieber?
Shawn Mendes.
I agree. Treat you better, right? Stitches? Stitches? Yeah. True that. All right, thank you. Tune in next time. All right, well done. Thank you.
Shawn Mendes or Justin Bieber? Of course it's Shawn Mendes.
Do you know who John Mayer is?
Teams for the next match. We've got qualification match number 6 on the Red Alliance. Hi to the Red Alliance. We've got Artemis, 15144. Team Artemis, hello. And on the Red Alliance, their partner is the Pink Bats. Pink Backs. Not Pink Bats, that's something that goes in your roof, but the Pink Backs. Welcome to the Pink Bats. And on the Blue Alliance, we've got 2 Barker teams. So we've got team 11145, the Greenbacks, Barker Greenbacks. Where are you? Hello, Barker Greenbacks. And their alliance partner is the Barker Orangebacks.
Artemis seems to have an interesting orientation for their robot, but it's completely legal as long as they're touching the wall, their robot's on the line, and they're touching the wobble goal, and they're meeting all 3 of those requirements, even though facing diagonally. And the randomization came out to 0 rings. This means they have to drop the wobble goal into the one closest to the robots, the A position. It also means there's 0 rings, which means that the autonomous usually isn't quite as high scoring as the robots are unable to pick up any extra rings. What they have currently is all they have during the autonomous period.
Okay, teams, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off, and that orientation for Artemis, well, they seem to need to change that because they've shot outside the field, but we saw the Pink Bats moving and shooting and just missing there. So no points scored at the moment during autonomous period. We've still got the 2. It's interesting. We haven't seen Orange or the Orangebacks play yet. None of those teams actually moving during the autonomous period, which surprises me a little bit. Pink Bat's not getting onto that.
Drivers, pick up your controllers.
White line there.
3,
which
2,
gets them those extra 5
1.
points if they did. So there's the 2 blue robots moving. The greenbacks there shooting and just missing. And look at this. For the Blue Alliance, the Orangebacks, they've got one of those robots with a conveyor belt that can deliver goals to the lower goal. And as you see, the Greenbacks, although they've got a good shooter, powerful, it's a very small target, that upper goal. But look at that. They scored. And also Pinkback scoring for the Red Alliance into that upper goal as well.
Greenback scores 12 points, shooting 2 high goals. And there's another one, an extra 6 points. Orangebacks is going for low goals, although I'm aware it used to shoot for the high goals. So I believe there's some mechanical changes.
So Artemis, again, look like they're having an issue with their trying to pick up those rings. We've seen that in the previous match.
Yeah.
So for the Red Alliance, they're Pink setting up and shooting, but just missing, not quite getting the orientation. Look at that. Orange. That's another, that conveyor belt system, when it works, it's very efficient. They can easily just drop those in, 6 points scoring in, and I guess it works well with a robot like the Greenbacks, who have just accidentally shot one of those rings into the Blue Alliance, into the Red Alliance. Yeah. So that would score points for the Red Alliance. Is that right?
That is correct. And it, as you were saying, it's quite good when the 2 robots do different things. That way they don't conflict with each other. And it seems to be quite a good system for them, as Blue is winning 28-16.
So we're down to the final 30 seconds. So teams, looks like no one's trying to pick up those wobble goals, but teams are trying to shoot at the power shot. And Pink Bat shooting one down, 15 points for the Red Alliance. And given the scores, I think if anyone can knock one down now, they might get the win for their alliance. So we're down to 34-31. And Pink Bat shooting and knocking another one down. But Greenbacks also shooting one right at the very end, scoring one for the Blue Alliance. So look, Red Alliance is ahead at the moment, but I think, well, Blue Alliance has just taken a late lead there, 51-46. But we'll need to wait for any finals. As we do, we cut away to Queensland, qualification match number 8. So the Blue Alliance is ahead here after that autonomous period. Looks like one of the blue robots is having some connection issues. Another blue robot there. They've got those wobble goals. It looks like they were almost trying to put some of those rings on top of the wobble goals. They've got 3 there. As you said, teams are allowed to control 3 rings each. That's right?
That is correct. But any more, it's a penalty.
So teams, I'm not sure whether that arm's working or not. It looks like they're having problems shaking off those rings. It looks like they're not meant to be there. Blue Alliance is ahead, though, in the match. There's the Red Alliance shooting and just missing for the Red Alliance. But there we go. A Blue Alliance robot shooting 2 out of 2 into that upper goal, scoring an extra 12 points with Blue Alliance extending their lead, 32-0, with just under 1 minute to go in this match. So it's hard to see the team numbers. I might try and get some of the names for the Queensland robots, and we'll go through some of those names and where they're from. We've got the Red Alliance, certainly one of the robots looks like it's got a comms issue as well there on the right-hand side. That other blue robot, look, they've picked up the wobble goal, and we'll see in that last 30 seconds they can either move it back to the start or they try and move it. So there's that red robot. It looks like it's come to life, and it's shot at one of those power shots. It didn't quite hit it, but good to see it moving again. We've still got that blue robot not moving. Red trying to shoot. Red have come back 32-20, so something must have happened there. They scored 20 points that we might have missed. Red Alliance hitting one of those power shots right at the end, and look at that, taking the lead, 35-32. So literally they took the lead with 2 seconds to go in that match. So we've got the results coming up for New South Wales, and it's a win. It's a win to the Blue Alliance. So the Blue Alliance there for that match was the Greenbacks and the Orangebacks, defeating Artemis and the Pinkbacks 51-34. So primarily that was the end game points. We're just going for an interview now in the pits with the Pinkbacks.
All right, everyone, here we are with the team 11146. Yes, I think it's the Pinkbacks. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, I see your robot's name is Aries or Aries. So what's the story behind that? Let's ask this beautiful man.
No, I reckon Artie's better.
Artie's better?
It's not really a story behind it. Just kind of had a team vote and whatever name was cooler, and we just went with it.
You went with Aries. All right, I respect that. All right, so how was your match just then? This one.
Yeah. It was all right. We had a bit of trouble shooting because we had we just had some problems with the shooter. But it was all right. It was good to be back after a few months. So.
Very, very, very good. So how's your comp been going so far today?
Our first match was pretty good. That was one of the best matches we've played so far with the Bluebacks. Second match, it was all right. Just need a bit more practice. Other than that, yeah, pretty good.
I like that. I like that. So what have you done since to improve your robot since the last comp?
The last comp. Okay, right. There's just 1 or 2 improvements so far.
Ooh,
so
1 or 2
with the shooter here, we used to have 2 wheels on here before. So this orange and blue on this side. We could only shoot mid before as well.
What does that mean?
The mid goal, so that's like the middle goal, yeah. We couldn't actually shoot power shots or the high goal or anything. So on this Thursday, actually, the team decided to put 1 extra wheel on here, which was quite successful. And so now we can shoot high goal. We can also shoot the power shots. And also with these little roller things here, the adjustment of them depending on the on the battery voltage. Depending on the battery voltage, we can change the position of these to shoot better or worse. Depends.
Sounds good. No, green, blue, and orange. That's the colors of the rainbow, right? Is it? I think it is. Very close. All right. Special question of the day. I know all of you guys are waiting for this. Would you rather be a duck or be a horse?
Oh, that's a hard one. I think I'd rather be a horse.
Rather be a horse? All right.
I'm going to have to say duck. Duck would be sick.
Duck's tasty, right? I know, I like duck. All right, that's the special question of the day. Join us next time.
So as we cut back, we're ready for the next match. So the teams, this is qualification match number 7. Just introducing the teams. On the Red Alliance, we have the Barker Purple Backs with Dangerous Minds. They're the Gong Invaders from Wollongong. On the Red Alliance. Sorry, Dangerous Minds from the Red Alliance. On the Blue Alliance, we have Gong Invaders. I'll get that right. Against Card Bob from Pimble. Okay, teams, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off and running. We've got 2 robots there. Oh, look at that. Gong Invaders shooting from downfield. Just missing, but the Purple Backs, 3 out of 3 hitting those power shots down. Each one of those during the autonomous period, scoring how many points? That's 15 points for each target there for the Blue Alliance, for the Red Alliance, sorry. Big scoring there. Yeah. Meanwhile, for the Blue Alliance, we do have Card Bob. They've gone and parked on that line, scoring an extra 5 points. So 3, Red Alliance ahead 2, after that autonomous period, 60 to 32.
Yeah, 60 is a very high score for the autonomous period. Purplebacks did very well, delivering the wobble goal successfully to the right area as well.
So nice work there from the Red Alliance. So we've got the Red Alliance there. So 16-5-5-1 there. That's Dangerous Minds. They've still got that red wobble goal on them, so they're allowed to hold that. All teams have to be touching wobble goal or holding it at the start of the match. But we'll see. Red Alliance is still ahead, courtesy of those big autonomous points. Gong Invaders for the Blue Alliance. It looks like they've picked up. Now, they've got to make sure they're behind that line. We saw that penalty points, and they do. They shoot 3 out of 3 into that upper goal.
And that's a total
12 points there.
18 points.
18 points.
Yeah.
And also, but to counteract that, the Purple Backs shot and scored as well for the Red Alliance, taking that lead. There's Card Bob, also getting 18 extra points for the Blue Alliance. Look at that. Blue Alliance has come back here, 74-84 with just under a minute to go.
Wow. And it looks like Dangerous Minds have the strategy of holding their wobble goal until the very end to drop it off, which can be quite efficient, as it can take teams quite a while to pick up the wobble goal. And Gong Invade...
That's Card Bob. Card Bob from the Blue Alliance.
Just got another 12
And look
points.
at Gong Invader. So this Blue Alliance, although behind, have really started working together. Purple Backs there shooting, scoring 2 in that upper goal. Gong Invaders... Sorry, Dangerous Minds just can't quite get that shooter on ball. So 30 seconds, and as you said, they've dropped that wobble goal off, an extra 15 points. But also there, it looked like Gong Invaders scored for the Blue Alliance, and we've got two red wobble goals, and it looks like we're going to get 2 blue wobble goals over. We've got 2 blue power shots down. This is a very high scoring for the Blue Alliance. Blue Alliance 196 points to 110. So we had 2 very accurate shooters there on the Blue Alliance, Gong Invaders and Card Bob.
Yes, and I think this may be the first time we've seen all 4 of the wobble goals put outside of the field. And while the Blue Alliance was putting the wobble goals outside of the field, they managed to get an extra 2 power shots, totaling to 30 points. Despite the Red Alliance having such a high-scoring autonomous, it appears that the Blue Alliance has come through during the driver control and endgame period, and I believe they would win the game, but we'll have to see at the final scores.
I think that could be our highest score so far. I haven't seen a match over 200, but that was a very high-scoring match there in New South Wales as we get the preview for the Queensland matches, and we've got the number 1 ranked team going up in Queensland. That's BGS and BGS Team 3. So up there again, they're playing with Grace Mangoes against it looks like on the Blue Lines Bot Builders 10 or Bot Builders X. I'm not really sure how to say that. and against Team 2 from BG and BWGS as we go here. So we've now got the next match here coming up in New South Wales, which is match number 8. And we have on the Red Alliance, we have Artemis and Hedge Hubs. Against on the Blue Alliance, Yellowbacks and Greybacks, as we get the final scores there. And look at that, a new high score, 196 for the Blue Alliance, 110. Look at that, as we said, autonomous for the Red Alliance, 60 to 32, but driver controlled 94 and 70 endgame points. 70 endgame points for the Blue Alliance. That's the highest we saw. So that was courtesy of, we had 2 wobble goals scored. That was 40 and 2 power shots down, which is another 30 points. That's how we get the 70 points there for the Blue Alliance. So a high score for the Blue Alliance.
Tell them. Okay, so you just need to look at the camera. Look cool.
So it looks like Queensland Queensland have started their match. They're just in their autonomous period. We certainly got the 2 blue robots have moved and they've gone onto the line. One of the red robots has moved. So we're just cutting away to the interview in the pits.
So hello everyone. Now we're here with team 16551, aka Dangerous Minds. So how's your day been going so far?
Not too bad. We've been doing pretty good, yeah.
Pretty good. I like that. So you guys from Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite restaurant in Melbourne?
Oh, I don't live in the city, so.
You live in the city? Oh,
nah.
Do you have anyone?
I like Bistro Guillaume. Yeah.
Like I like Melbourne Italian food. Yeah. Very very nice. French. Very very fancy. All right. So how's the match you guys just played?
It was pretty good actually. We didn't win, but you know it's not about winning. It was actually really good because our robot finally worked properly, which was actually pretty nice.
It's about that first spirit, am I right? Yes. So how's the robot going the whole comp today?
The game before we had a couple problems, but I think we solved them. So hopefully we should do consistent for the rest of the day.
Persevered. I like that. I like perseverance, mate. So what have you done? Like, what have you worked on since your last competition?
We completely rebuilt the robot because we built our robot in quarantine because we're the only Victorian team. So we're in that, like, I don't know how many month lockdown, but we managed to be able to get motors imported from the US. So we actually be able to rebuild our robot entirely.
Rebuild the whole robot. That requires some dedication. I like that. I respect that. All right, final question of the day. I do this to all the other teams. Imagine this, yeah. You're opening up your freezer to get some ice cream, right? You open it up, push like the front thing out. Instead of ice cream, there's a massive elephant. What do you do with the elephant?
That's a good question.
Did you eat it?
No, because you can't. The elephants are big, so.
Take it to a zoo or something.
But it's frozen. But it's frozen though.
Archaeologist.
I like that. I respect that. All right. Thank you. Join us next time.
As we come back to the match, we're just looking at that Queensland match ongoing there. Queensland match, the Blue Alliance is ahead. We're down to that final 15 seconds there, 21. One of the Blue Alliance robots shooting at those power shots, and it looks like they actually hit them down. Red Alliance also knocking one down there right at the end. At the end of that match, it looks like Blue Alliance, though, have a nice lead there in Queensland. One of the human players looking very excited there in Queensland, jumping up and down. Nice work.
Sure do. And the Blue Alliance during the endgame seem to have scored a wobble goal, being 20 points.
So that wobble goal is back at that home line.
Actually, they got 2 wobble goals. They got one putting on the original line, which is 5 points, and one putting outside the field, which is 20 points. Getting the final score of 76-0, win for the Blue.
Win for the Blue Alliance there, and those teams ranked number 1 and 3. As we cut back to New South Wales, we're randomising, and it's position A. So position A for the Red Alliance. As the teams are getting all ready, we've just got Mr. Zamet off the field. Teams, are you ready? Teams? In 3, 2, 1. Go. And we're off. We've got, obviously, the Greybots. Greybots shooting and knocking down all 3 of their power shots, knocking down one of the Reds as well. Excellent shooting. And it looks like for the Red Alliance there, Red Alliance, that's Hedge Hubs, getting in position and parking. Can the Greybots park on that line? It doesn't quite look loud, but look at that. They've delivered 2 wobble goals into position A.
I do believe that actually does count as parking on the
Driver,
line because
pick
their
up your
arm is
controllers.
over the line.
Three,
It's just if any part of the
2,
robot
1.
is over the line.
So look at that, 80 autonomous points for the Red Alliance, 56 though also for the Red Alliance. So we've got the yellow bots there with their robot Lewis using that conveyor belt, shooting into the lower goal. We do have hedge hubs there. It looks like Artemis are having some comms issues. They're not moving at the moment, so it's being left up to hedge hubs. We'll see if they can shoot. They're in position. They're very close to that line. It doesn't look like they're over it, though. They shoot, but score 2 in the upper goal and 1 in that lower goal.
Yeah, and Greybacks is running their usual autonomous for the shooting the rings during the teleop period. And it appears that a robot has lost its wheel, I believe.
So one robot's lost the wheel, and it also looks like there's some sort of belt. Either come off the grey bots or it's stuck underneath the grey bots right-hand wheel there. It's wrapped up. So that back wheel not working properly for the grey bots. So
yeah, it's sure is limiting their abilities. And so that's Carbobs, whose robot lost the wheel while Yellowbacks are trying to get more points. Artemis's robot has fixed the controller issue and seems to have got the intake moving, but we'll see if they can start driving soon.
So we're down to the final almost end game period here. As I said, we've got part of Hedge Hubs on the field, and we've got Yellowbacks there delivering those rings in. Looks like one of the rings is actually stuck underneath the robot there, which means they'd only be able to control 2 robots at once. So we're down to the final few seconds. So we've got the Greybacks. Looks like an excellent robot, but it looks like whatever's stuck in its wheel, they can't quite deliver. Can they get that wobble goal over? So they do get the wobble goal over right at the end of the match there. So a bit of carnage on the field there. We had connection issues with Artemis. We had Hedge Hubs. They're losing a wheel.
Yeah.
Something, as we see there.
I believe it may have been a part of Hedge Hubs who got stuck, which got stuck on Greybacks.
Looks like it's some sort of belt.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's interesting. So something comes off the robot, gets caught underneath another robot, and
here we have the opportunity to see the inner workings of Greybacks with 3 encoders on the bottom, it looks like. Despite Greybacks being unable to move to their full potential, their high scoring 80 autonomous points has seemed to allow them to retain the win.
as we have the final scores here for that match. And wow, that's a close match. That's 96 to 82 with 50 penalty points there against 50 penalty points against the Blue Alliance. So what we had is 80 autonomous periods. And yeah, what were the penalty? Yeah, so we saw that. We saw a ring caught underneath. That was the Yellowbacks. Yeah, so Yellowbacks had a ring caught inside their robot. Then they picked up other rings. Teams are only allowed to control 3 robots at a time, 3 rings at a time. Sorry, and that meant they got a penalty points every time they controlled more than those rings. So what we might do?
It's very, very high. I think it's 5 points every
time you've got it.
It's like 5 points every second or something.
Okay, so we might cut away to the rankings here. So we'll have a look at the rankings here in New South Wales of what they are. Here we go. So I'll wait till we get up to the top, but I would rank number 1. He is 14.34. Is 49, so 49 is the Gong Invaders. Gong Invaders rank 1. 54, rank 2 is the Hedge Hubs. Rank 3 is Card Bob. These are ranking points. Rank 5 is Dangerous Minds. So we've got, where's the Greybacks? The Greybacks seem to have a very good team, 48. Greybacks are ranked number 4th. Yeah, they've got a very good robot. But most of these matches have played, most of these robots have played 3 games as we cut away to an interview in the pits.
Hello. Here we are with team 15144, also known as what?
Artemis.
Artemis of Abbottsley, is it college? Abbottsley College. Very fancy. So how's your match just then?
Our drivetrain isn't working very well. So
What's a drivetrain?
The